everyone. I'm gonna update some of the settings on my YouTube real quick while I wait for some people to come in. Today, as you can see, we're gonna be working on this little puppy man. I still actually have two pieces that I have to foil. I didn't see them when I was foiling yesterday, so we'll foil those and then we can go ahead and get into soldering. First, like I said, let me go to my YouTube, get this all figured out. Am I looking at? Where's my YouTube? I'm hoping that we can get this done in less than 2 hours because there's other things that I want to solder as well. Hoping. We'll see. Usually big projects like this take about an hour and a half to 2 hours, so it's kind of, we're being hopeful. But
wow!
Okay, that looks good. Also, hello! Thanks for the lemon, Leo. How are you doing? Also, I messed with my microphone settings, so I'm hoping there's some noise cancellation going on. Hoping. Because I have a dehumidifier in here now, I have my air conditioner, and then we're gonna have the smoke absorber on as well, so there's gonna be a lot of like fan noises going at one time. So I don't want to like blast everyone's eardrums out with fan noises. Alright, let's turn on, plug in my smoke absorber, plug in my iron. Thanks, Leo. You alright? Hey, Nightingale. You alright? I'm gonna situate a little tiny bit, see if I can't get this. Oh. There we go. Give myself a little room. Litter room. My boy! I'm great. How are you doing? Lovely sunny autumn day here in Scotland. Yes, for sure. Hello, how are you doing, Rebecca? I haven't been very productive today, for being honest with ourselves, but you know, some days are just like that. Hopefully we can get some good stuff done on the live stream today, and then afterwards I have a few things planned that I need to get done as well. Alright, so we have our little soldering sponge. I'm at work. Okay, you're working. Well, I don't want to be a distraction while you're working, friend. Hey Renee, how's it going? Welcome, welcome. What else do we need? We need our solder, flux. We have our flux brush. This needs to move here. Thanks, Nightingale. Also, hello. How are you? I'm just kidding, Nightingale. It's just a meme at this point. Okay, so that goes there. crooked, a little crooked. There we go. Let's see, I have a question. When grinding, how do you keep from inhaling the glass? So, there should be water in your grinder. I've never had a problem with like aerosolized glass dust coming into my face. If there's enough water, which for me, there's enough water to where there's like water actively splashing onto my piece whenever I'm grinding. So really, as long as everything is wet, it's being captured. I could be wrong and I might just be slowly dying, but I've never had a problem with inhaling glass dust. The only issue that you have to look out for is, so like I use a microfiber towel like this to dry off my pieces after I grind each one and I place it on my pattern. That needs to be cleaned very regularly because after it dries, when you touch it, it'll like glass dust will go everywhere. So I clean that regularly. What I do is I'll saturate it with water and I'll like rinse it out. And I'll just do that over and over until it like runs clean. So, hey Dan, how's it going? I hope that answered your question, Steve. I hope that was a sufficient answer. I'm sorry if it was not. Okay, so, ooh, we need to put foil on these pieces. So let's do that first. $144p fuzzy bear. So I'm struggling with our little tiny scraps of data we have. Alright, I'm kind of off camera. Hello, other Dan! Welcome. How are you doing today? Also, Steve, if you're still there, I know some people will grind with an N95 mask. Like I said, I've never had a problem with inhaling glass dust. I've never seen it get dusty and like be billowing around. Yeah, definitely use safety goggles. I will have it on my shirt, but I have a protective faceplate over my grinder, so I have this, and you can see like how much glass it's caught. But I'll wear safety goggles. I thought you were talking more about like dust clouds versus like actual chunks of glass coming off. But yeah, some people opt to use an N95. Foiling all morning. Hey Mags, how are you doing? Oh, thank you so much, Sabrina. I appreciate
ice cream.
That. And thank you for the ice cream. This is a custom pet portrait. His name is Tiger. He's older, getting up there in age, so they wanted a portrait to commemorate him with. He's still around. He's still alive and kicking. But they just love him to pieces, and he's a real nice dog, so. We're just making it to honor how awesome he is. Once I get these pieces foiled up, then I can go ahead and start placing everything. Hopefully, I don't see that the microphone is registering the fans, but if it is, let me know. think it'll be fine because I have a different type of noise suppression on. I have a few different filters, so I think we're fine. Now for these little branches right here, I'm going to be adding some copper wire to the back of them to give them stability, because these little pieces here are just going to be barely holding on for, they're going to be holding on for dear life, let's be honest. So we're gonna put some copper wire just to give them some extra help. How do you go? Like so? Like that? Yes. This one is wrong. Oh, thank you. You're too kind. You are too kind. I like to say I just have a lot of patience, because stained glass is really just all about patience. Alright. I think this all looks pretty good. Fantastic. So what we'll do is we can go ahead and start, let me move this foil out of the way. We'll go ahead and start tacking everything. Just really jump into it. I'm going to focus on just getting all of the joints of the glass covered in flux, that way we can just start getting everything put together. Done foiling, gonna do some more cutting, getting my inventory up for my craft show. Very nice. What all are you making? You said you're doing like some spooky stuff, right? And I know that, have you made any of the like witches hats, or I forget what else? Bat? Did you get the bat from me? This whole past month has just been a blur. Ah, classic internet. Unfortunately, I don't really know what other settings I can use. I think sometimes our internet is just it's going to be intermittent, and we just have to kind of deal with it freezing because of the nature of where I'm at. Hopefully you can hear what I'm saying. So I know last time, like, people could hear me, they just couldn't see what I was doing. Bat, witch hat, pumpkin, a few Christmas ornaments. Nice! Have you, I forget, and I'm sorry that I feel like we've talked about this before. Have you done a craft show before? Or would this be your first one? I feel like there's a lot of craft shows going on right now too. There's a lot of people like, I think there's at least 2 people that stop into the stream, or have stopped into the stream in the past, who are currently doing craft shows and preparing for some. Which is cool. Craft show. that's exciting. When is your craft show? How long do you have to prepare? Okay, there's no better time than the present to just go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna move my iron cord right here. That way it's not gonna fall as much. I feel like these all moved around more than I wanted to. Oh! Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. We'll start with you. I need like a clip for this darn cord. Let's see. Without knocking my iron over and burning myself and everything in its wake. Do this. Perfect. It's a fairly small show, only about 10 booths. I just want to make sure I don't have too much inventory that I'm stuck with it. Ah, I see. So in total, how many pieces are you going to be making? There. Let's see. I'm gonna make this little eyeball. I don't like its placement. There we go. $25 pieces. Nice. It's a nice little inventory. How did the ones in the past go? Like your past shows, did you sell out or did you have a little bit left over? Hey Alicia, how are you doing? Welcome. Go ahead and turn this on. Hey, thank you so much, the little mess. How are you doing today? I was thinking 2 witches' hats, probably 2 bats, 2 pumpkins, make some, I've also made some ghost cats, 8 of them. Nice. I think that's a really good little lineup. Very good, very good. Tiny pieces secured. It depends. Around Christmas time, I sell about 15 pieces. Okay, gotcha. I feel like spooky season is just so popular. People love stuff like that, so I think you'll do great. Evening, looking fab. 9-year-old just walked in and says he thinks this is very cute. Oh, thank you. So yes, the edge is going to be finished off with lead cane. So that'll be the final step. You don't need to foil for lead cane. You can for smaller cane, but I'm going to be using like a pretty thick lead cane to finish it out, so no need to foil. And it makes the edges just look really nice and finished. At home with a stomach bug? No! How long have you had that for? I feel like everyone's sick right now. With like normal illnesses. Just have a few more pieces left that aren't fully connected, so we'll go ahead, just do a nice even coat now, as most of them are. Hey Coyote, how you doing? Left work around 11 yesterday, don't really feel that bad, just having digestion issues. Ah, gotcha. Well, I hope you feel better soon. One of the most frustrating things. Stomach bugs. Okay, I think everything is connected, except for these two tiny pieces. And I kind of feel like they're gonna overlap with my lead cane, so I'm really gonna try to just do that, and I think that'll be fine. Vanilla macadamia nut goodness is on the way. What in the heck is that? Thanks, Alicia. Yes, the flower is painted too. So the flower that I was given for a reference photo, it was their wedding bouquet. And I have no idea what kind of flower it is, but it has like a ton of these little red buds. Like they're little red, like balls basically. So I was like, there ain't no way I can do all those little pieces. So I figured I could just paint red glass with black to like mimic the little shadows. And that was basically the best I could do. This is gonna have some copper wire, and then these are gonna have copper wire as well. Yes. Quiet day in the home office. Very nice. What's scary about large stained glass pieces like church windows? Is it the number of pieces, the required work area? Yes, both. I personally think large pieces are like it's more of like if something breaks, if something goes wrong, if you drop it, that is hundreds of dollars and hundreds of hours that you have to then completely just start from scratch, or in a worst case scenario. I just don't like it. It's spooky. Stuff like this is much less pressure, I suppose. There's still some pressure. It's not as bad. Oh, coffee. Thanks.
Yeah. What'd you think? I didn't have volume on.
I have no idea. You said vanilla macadamia nut, and I was just like, what is?
Told you I was gonna.
It's hot.
It's got your spoon milk in it.
Nice. Thank you.
How's the stream going?
Pretty good. I think someone said that it cut out a little bit earlier, but I don't really know of any settings that I can do at this point that'll make it better.
Yeah, I saw when they said that. I didn't see any chopping when they said that, but you may have had a little hiccup.
Oh, this piece is not attached. Okay.
I'll let you know if you see anything.
Have to worry about the load-bearing integrity of those pieces too, don't you? Yeah, definitely. So you're gonna have to reinforce it, and it's just, I don't know, it's just spooky. Bye. Thanks for the coffee.
Yeah.
Alright, let's get this off of the paper. Stuck. Tidbit of buffering now and then. I'll take it. Oh, it's so fun to go from that to wah! Okay, onwards. Let's go ahead and add the copper wire to these are like lily buds. And then we're gonna add some wire to this little thing. We're gonna do our best. So I think what I'll do is for the lilies. For the lilies, we're gonna use 16 gauge too much. No, I think it's fine. We'll use 16 gauge copper wire for our lilies. You can see that they have just little sections like that. Yeah, I literally never in my life do I ever want to make like a giant window for a church. Never. I barely want to make a window for myself. Let alone something that other people are like paying me to do. Spooky. Where are my little rubber finger thingies? I'm still trying to figure out all of my storage solutions for the new studio. It's very small. It's very small. I don't know if I've really ever put it into words, but my old art studio was a room that was slightly bigger than this shed. I took up the entire room, and now I only have half of this shed to work with. Ooh, she hot. So we're doing our best. We're doing our absolute best. But there's still a lot I have to unpack, so I'm not worried about it. Still a lot of like, I need more like vertical storage. So once we get that figured out, it'll be a lot better too. sounds like your kind of challenge. Go for it, Coyote. That's all you. All you. Once. Hiding in plain sight. I hate that. Why? Why does that happen? After I get a workshop space and then the basics and get significant other approval, it'll be a long time. I believe in you. I believe in you. Honestly, it's just because, and I know I've talked about it before, but it's because we kept so much stuff that I feel like we didn't really need to keep. That we just gotta go through it and just like finish getting rid of it. It was like a mad dash to try to pack everything in the last week before we moved. So it's just a matter of going through everything, finding places for things, organizing better. Like, we didn't really need to be organized before. Like, to a degree we did, but not to the degree that we do now. I think that gives a nice effect. It kind of brings it towards, it kind of brings it to the foreground more, which I like. Unintentional, but heck yeah. Let's try to heat this wire up a little bit. We can mold it better because it is real crinkly right now. Ah, gosh darn it. I bent it. But it's a flower, so it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It's smooth on this side. Okay, you go here. Coyote, if you're still there, have you been doing any other sorts of crafts lately? I think you were, I'm like literally the worst have the worst memory ever, but I think you had posted that you like make like dragon head thingies, right? You like done anything else like that? If that is your post. I'm awful, I know, I'm sorry. It's terrible. You can make a better dog out of stained glass than I can draw. Oh, thank you. Practice. Practice, practice, practice. I'm sure you're better at drawing than you're on. Also, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing well today. I don't think I've seen your username here before, so welcome. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a picture of him, the dog, in the stream. That way y'all can see how precious he is. I think I put him in. Oh man, it's not cropped. Hello, I can't stay, but I just wanted to come in and say how beautiful your dog is doing. Thank you so much. Aw, thank you. I'm sorry, it's like a really long. I just wanted to read it. Thank you, Crazy Sherbert. I appreciate that. I really just like being able to share what I do with people and have some. Whoa! I got distracted. Have some company while I get some work done. So, I wouldn't really be here unless I had the people that come in regularly and like to chit chat with me and keep me company and ask good questions and all that jazz. So I am in as much I don't know what I was gonna try to say. I appreciate the people who, all my viewers, how about that? I am new. Great. Hello. I'll go ahead and make the disclaimer. Usually for soldering streams like this, I talk a little bit less than I do with my other streams, just because I tend to want to be more focused on what I'm doing. It's kind of hard to talk and solder at the same time. So there'll be usually just little like swaths of time where I'm not really saying all that much. But hopefully my mic is now sensitive enough that it can like pick up the cool soldering sounds. And some people say that they like watching it because it's like kind of zen. So I knew that was gonna happen. I knew it. And yet I still did it. So now we're gonna use, camera is all sorts of cattywampus. There we go. So now I'm gonna use my 20 gauge copper wire to make the little details on this flower. So this is like a, I forget what kind, like a Queen Anne's lace type flower. I didn't really know how to make it in stained glass, so I just kind of made it with these little lumps. So we're just gonna kind of be free flowing with this part and see what we can come up with as far as copper wire. Ugh. That's not what I wanted. This wire is so thin stabbed myself. Oh, hold on. I need a band-aid. I cut my thumb yesterday while I was grinding glass. I guess it's just mad at me right now. Stand by. Band-aid break. I feel like lately I've been cutting myself accidentally while I've been grinding. Like the first thing I try to grind, I cut myself, and I'm like, no. Also, hey Gish, how are you doing? How are you doing today? I love, not even past tense, that skull that you embroidered. The shading was super, super nice. Very cool. I really want to try to get into embroidery. I have all the stuff for it. I just like haven't done it. I tried it like twice. But I didn't even like look up stitches. I just was like, I can figure it out. And I made this little rose, and then I was like, great. Well, check that off my bucket list, and then I just never did it again. But I want to. I want to. Good to hear. Oops. Right now I'm just putting the copper wire on the little flower details, and then once we get these applied, we can go ahead and get into the fun stuff and start actually soldering it to make it look nice. I had a piece break weird yesterday. I looked at it and knew it would be really sharp, but still ran my thumb across it and sliced it quite a little, not even possible. I've done that before. Hey, thanks so much for subscribing on YouTube. Glad to have you on my YouTube. I'm planning my next video, so it's been quite a while since I posted a video. But I'm scripting my next video currently. All of my YouTube scripts, all of them, like it hasn't been 2 months. I do early access to the scripts themselves on my Patreon. So even I think the lowest tier, you can have access to that. I know some people learn better from reading. So that's on my Patreon if anyone is interested. I haven't posted it yet, so I should say that. But I'm gonna get it up here either tonight or sometime tomorrow, once I have it all typed out and pretty. And then I'm gonna figure out, the video is gonna be about lead cane, specifically just U-channel lead cane, which I use around the borders. Yeah. It'll be about all that good stuff. Finally, I've been asked so many times to do a lead cane video, and in the beginning, I didn't really feel confident enough to make a video about lead cane. Like, I just didn't feel like I knew enough. But now, I feel like I know the things. Yeah. And I bought a bunch of different kinds of lead cane recently. So I'm gonna go over all the sizes I have. I'm gonna try to come up with pieces to use to demonstrate and show how I apply each one. Because I like my videos to be like as much information as possible. Like I don't want to have to go back and make like 3 or 4 or 5 lead cane videos. So I try to just be as informative as possible the first time and cover all my bases. That way people aren't like, but what about this? And sometimes it's hard though. Sometimes you just forget to include stuff. Dang it. On my Patreon as well, I have a tier for stained glass patterns, but someone actually subscribed recently and they messaged me and they're like, hey, can I use this for embroidery? Because I do 2 patterns a month. And I thought that was super cool. So I'm hoping that I was like, yeah, go for it. So I'm hoping that they make some cool stuff and I can post it and see like my stained glass in embroidery, which would be awesome. Yeah, I know that like I have a hard time making patterns that aren't something that I would make, if that makes sense. So it's like, you know, I have my ring saw, and so I automatically am like, oh, I can do this like super complex thing with my ring saw. But you were like, it's hard. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know if I put in like an alternate version or if that's something that I should do from now on. But I was thinking about putting in like showing ways that you can alter the patterns to make it a little bit easier or maybe a little harder if someone wants more of a challenge. I don't know. Let me know if that's something that sounds interesting, Alicia. Too much. This is turning out cute. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's turning out real cute. I like it. I was I was a little doubtful of the wire flower, but I think it looks nice. Like so. Very nice. So how did it turn out then? Do you like how it turned out, Alicia? It's 2:45. Can't catch the stream, so when. Aw, thank you so much. It's so good to have you here, Sherbert. I completely understand. Please don't feel bad about leaving. You should probably go sleep. But thank you so much for stopping in and for your lovely message. I really appreciate it. One more little wire. I haven't made it very far yet. Marked all the pieces and separated them, but only cut the two hardest ones so far. Gotcha. Gotcha. Ooh, I know this is really silly, but I found a way to get wax out from under copper wire super easily yesterday, and I'm like kicking myself for not doing it sooner. I had a few people recommend a Dremel to me, a Dremel with, oh no, I'm here. No. I don't have any notifications. Frustrating. Well, hopefully it comes back. Here's to hoping. Great. Yeah. I have this makeup brush that I use for sizing my jump rings, and it has really compact bristles. And it's really like, it's a very hard brush. and I just used it to brush the wax out from under the little things. And I was like, why did I not think of that sooner? Because y'all know I like using copper wire and painting. Those are like my two things that I love the mostest in the whole world. Alright, everything is good now. Let's go ahead and start soldering. Let's get down to business. I think we'll just go ahead and start here and then work our way around. I don't really have a preference for where I start usually. I do want to do something a little different though. I'm gonna place some globs periodically. Oh no. I know. It's just like, it just is what it is, I think. Sorry for the hiccups, everyone. Honestly, though, I feel like I was expecting much worse for my live streaming setup. I was expecting much, much worse. So I can't really complain. I like his little face. He's one of those dogs that, like, when you see a picture of him, you can just tell he's like a really old soul. Like, he's just a really sweet dog. He just seems very expressive. It's been raining since this morning down here, cray cray, but it's cooler. Ooh, we have been getting so much rain. It is ridiculous where I'm at. So much. It's been actually pretty annoying. because it just like, we're kind of in like a sand pit where we live. Like everything is just made of sand. So sand just gets everywhere. Like I vacuum like pretty regularly in the trailer, and it's just like a losing battle. It's just dirt all the time. I don't like it. I don't like sandy toes. In the context of like being at a beach, yes. In my home, no. Oops, sorry. So loud. Oops. We need more flux. Sand. Yeah. It's frustrating, but it's fine. We really like living out here. We were talking about our grievances with our new living situation last night, and really it's like not that bad. Like there's not too much that we don't like. There's a few things that we reflected on that are mild inconveniences, but they are mild inconveniences is really all they are. Specifically, in case anyone's nosy, just washing our hair, because our shower is super low water pressure, and it takes me forever to wash my hair. And Brian also has long hair, so we devised a plan last night, because we have a hose that it's like comes out of our trailer, and we were like, what if we just like have a hair washing day and we help each other wash our hair by just holding the hose, because it has much higher water pressure. So I think that's what we're gonna do. Like sand throughout the trailer house, these are the days of Ferris life. Yes. Hey, I just started getting into glasswork and your videos have helped a bunch. I'm so happy to hear that. Welcome to the stained glass world. I don't stream as much as I used to, probably about 2 or 3 days a week now, but if you ever have questions, please feel free to come into the stream. Like if you see that I'm live streaming, please feel free to come in and ask, and I'll try to explain as best as I can. Usually I'll try to like give a little demonstration too if it's something that I can kind of answer on the spot. So I like helping people understand stained glass, and I always give the disclaimer that like I'm self-taught, so this is just from my perspective and from what I've learned with experimentation and stuff over the last 2 years. But I'm more than happy to share my experience and see if it helps you. Although if you've watched my videos, I'm sure you've heard my disclaimer like at least 10 times already. You would think that people who commissioned you for these would watch you make them. Some have, but I think other people, like, I think a lot of people, like, don't understand watching live streams. Like, they just don't enjoy it, or they just don't even think about it, really. So, I did announce it, so I don't know if the person... I know that some people are, like, kind of anxious about talking in live streams, which I totally understand because I used to be the same way. So if they have watched it, like, they just haven't told me. So, time to do the... What is that? What haircut is that? I honestly thought about cutting my hair recently. I don't really like short hair on me, but it would probably just be the shorter version of what I have. I would still have my little baby bangs and stuff. But every time I get to the hair length that I'm at now, every time I'm like, man, I should cut my hair. And then I cut my hair and I'm like, but I was trying to grow it out. I don't know what that is. Hold on, let me look it up. No! No! I'm not gonna shave my head. I can't. Unless you mean her little bob that she has. Max Sweet Shots. Yeah, I don't recognize her face, but I think I've heard the name. I can't shave my head though. I can't do it. I think Brian would disown me if I shaved my head. No, you're not old. She is an angry-ish Irish lass. Angry-ish? Why angry-ish? Only slightly angry? Listen, I just don't know things. I'm not that young. My God. Why is she angry? Her big downfall was ripping the picture of the Pope on SNL. Why does it... Was that at a time when, like, religious defamation was more of an issue? Because I feel like people just do stuff like that all the time. Oh, okay. Here we go. Is still in one piece. She... I know that my stork should have dropped me in America, but he got drunk in Dublin. Ah, alright, well, yes, I don't recognize her as a person off the top of my head, so... Darn whippersnapper. Great voice though, really talented. What year did that happen? Did she do that on SNL? Because now I feel like people do stuff like that all the time, and it's just like, whatever. Who cares? Ruined her singing career. Bless her. Bless her cotton socks. Well, I guess if she ripped up a picture of the Pope, she doesn't want anyone to see bless her. '90s. Okay, gotcha. A different time. A different time indeed. Back when SNL was less angry. The good old days. I haven't watched anything on like SNL or any sort of like mainstream modern news or not news, like television, because I feel like most like comedy now is politically based. Like you can't really escape, you can't watch anything without there being some sort of like political message being included in it, which is just like I just don't, sometimes you just don't want to hear it, you know? I could be wrong. That's just why I don't watch it, and what do I know if I don't watch it? But I see clips and I'm just like, ugh. Like every late night talk show host, that's like, that's all they talk about. You can probably still pull up the clip. It was dead silent. No! I bet it's so cringy. No! Alright. Looks pretty good. Oops, we need to do this little part of the ear. Fantastic. Good on you for avoiding the descent. That explains your happy predisposition. Bless the happy bear. Yes. We watch a lot of TV and movies from like the 80s and 90s. Alright, I want to see this ripping up the Pope picture. feel like I remembered, like, I feel like I remember this now. Poke picture. Dang, she did that. She did it. She did it. She's doing it. Oh well. Anyway, that's interesting. I can't shave my head. Long story short, there's no way. I think I would have an ugly head. I have like a very ugly head. I have like a very oblong shaped dome. So I think I would look very unattractive bald. And like I said, Brian would probably also disown me. It was news. For some reason we cared. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit. It's a little rough. Rough. Through here. So let's try to clean this up just a smidgen. Yeah, it was weird. I mean, you know, she's doing what she believes in, and she's not hurting people, so fighting for something she believes in. Good for her. Yeah, definitely not. Take care, Megs. Thanks so much for hanging out, and enjoy your doctor's appointment. As much as one can enjoy a doctor's appointment. There we go. That piece was just real ugly. I'm sure you can't really see what I'm adjusting here, but... Alright, I think that's about good. Let's see what she looks like in the light. His name is Tiger. He's a boy. It's like reflecting the sound into the microphone. It's cute! Oh, bless him! Look at this little tiger. Oh. Oh, the green works so well. I'm so happy with how this is coming out. Alright, so now we need the lead cane border. So I think for this I'm gonna do a rounded lead cane. I feel like it'll look better since it's kind of like a green, like natural botanical feel. So let's get out our lead cane. So this is my rounded, the rounded one that I have. So I think I should be able to use most of this, and then get into this roll as well. This is probably my favorite lead cane that I have. Where's my gosh darn hemp? I don't know what this is. We're just going to use this to measure from here to here. Or no! Hey Kuma, how are you? Let's move our puppy out of the way while we uncurl some of this. I kind of, when I first started doing pet portraits, I have all of my ears sticking out, and I do that just for the effect, but I actually kind of like it now because it means I don't have to do one solid giant piece of lead cane. So now it's kind of like a strategic way to break things up. Alright, so our first piece, this is plenty long, so we'll cut it off a little bit longer than what we measured just to leave some room for my pliers. I still haven't installed my cane stretcher yet, just because I don't have a thing to attach it to. So we're still going to be just stretching this by hand like we used to. I have to find my other pliers. I don't know where they are. We'll use my scissors. Alright, stand by. I'm going to just do this on the floor real quick. You can look at my messy desk. Cut off the part that we squished. Let's see how much more we need to cut off. I'm going to cut my lead cane at a slight angle to account for this. Right here. And then we'll do the same for this side. This just helps it blend better with the pieces that it's going to be attaching to. Like a glove. bit long. I just don't want to cut too much. Watch, I just probably cut too much. Almost, but it's okay. Alright. So we'll go ahead and solder this onto the top part. This is lead. It's like the standard border type for certain types of stained glass. There's also a zinc border, although it is not as malleable as this. Like, you can't bend it easily. At least I don't believe so. And like, to cut it, you need to use power tools, which is why I generally opt to not use a zinc border. But it all comes just down to preference. Some people really like it because of how rigid it is. It does provide a better structural support. Sorry. Okay. Now we can attach this part here. And then we'll go ahead and turn it over and attach it on the back. So there's one side, makes it look really nice. Whoops. Barely hanging on, that little piece, be careful of that. But yes, exactly. Zinc is good for straight edges. Exactly. Piece number one, good. Let's turn her over and let's do this edge next. really like using this stuff. It's so curled up. Thank you, Charlie. Thank you, thank you. What are you up to today, Charlie? How are you doing? I don't think I ever asked. Really? I thought you couldn't use lead nippers. Is it really hard? That's what I was told. Like I said, I had no idea. That's just what I've been told in the past. Ah, gotcha. Just a little smidge too long. Late to class, sorry. Doing a Celtic knot, couple crosses, going to Austin tomorrow. Oh, very nice. Is there like a craft show, or is that just like an unrelated, you're just going somewhere tomorrow and you wanted to share? What's in, oh wait, I already asked that technically. I was gonna say, what's in Austin? But I was, I already asked technically. Just being impatient. Smart ass. Whoops, sorry, I hit the camera. Nippers. You've probably been asked this a gazillion times. What's your recommended paints for stained glass? I find they're either too runny or rub off. So I use Pebeo Vitria 160s. It tends to be a little runny, but I have a bottle that's about a year old that, because it's been sitting so long, I use it all the time. It's my black. It's gotten a lot thicker over time, so I know that doesn't help with the, immediate use, but that's the brand. That's the only one I've used, and I really love it. Very easy to use, sets in an oven. You don't have to mess with a kiln. Yeah, Pebeo Vitria 160. I use the glossy paint. And then they also have a thinner, like a paint thinner that you can get. And I really want to try using that for going to watch live recording of your mom's house podcast. Go to Blue Moon Glass Shop, getting your tiny groceries and tablecloth. Nice. I haven't watched your mom's house in so long. It's a really funny podcast. I like the clips where I forget, it's Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura, right? Where they're just I like the clips of Tom Segura just like wheezing, laughing. It's my favorite. It's like, it just makes me cry laughing. All right. No. I'm just gonna bring this one to here. I use the jars. I've never gotten the tube before. I use jars, and then I have liner brushes that I got off of Amazon. So here, I'll show you. So this is my very worn in black that I have. There's still plenty in here and it's very thick, which is why I like it. What I do is you shake it up real good, and then I just dip out of the cap. So I still have probably about a quarter bottle left, and it's very thick. So what I can probably do is put a little bit of thinner in there to give it more life. But I like how thick it is, just because I don't have to do layer after layer. And then I have these liner brushes, which I want to get some better ones, but they're E-Boot brand on Amazon. It was like $9 for a 5-pack, and they are okay. They're pretty good in the beginning, but they kind of have flared out after a while, and that might be my user error of not taking care of them well enough. But I want to get some really nice liner brushes, that way I can it's just easier. Alright, so that is 2 bears, 1 cave. Yeah, Christine, yeah. I didn't know that. I thought that Bert just came on as I thought he just came on as a guest. I hadn't seen it with their own thing, but I've seen it with his wife. That's the one I always used to watch. The one, the clip where like, it's this guy singing, and he has like 5 teeth, and he's like making up the words. I'll have to post it. I'll post it in the sillies. Someone makes the joke, and this is what makes Tom Segura just like die. They make the joke that if like, oh god, if like using lung cancer, like using something as an instrument. I'm terrible at telling stories, I'm sorry. You've probably seen the clip that I'm talking about though, if you're familiar with Your Mom's House. Yeah, I'm glad to help. Let me see. I forgot about this, but it makes me laugh every time. Your Mom's House instruments. So it's just called Tom Segura and Christina P. Almost Die from Laughter YMH highlight from 3 years ago. I'll post it in my Discord so everyone can see it. What temperature do you cook it at? I'm so scared of painting on glass. It's why I dig your gusto. It's fine. It's not scary. Especially if you use the right paint. But honestly, so something that you can think of, if you, even if you set it, you can peel it off pretty easily. Like if you use an X-Acto knife, say you paint it, you set it, you hate it, you can just like scrape it off with an X-Acto knife. So it cooks at 325 Fahrenheit for 40 minutes. So what about it makes you nervous, Charlie? It's so fun. It's so fun once you start doing it. Once you can like play with it and get your techniques down. moved to Austin. Oh! You're going to see them. Oh! Nice. Very cool. I just like it. Just I don't know why that took so long for me to click with what you're talking about. Bro, stop. And I cut it too short. Oh my god, that's so infuriating. So frustrating. So what you can do, and I don't know if this helps alleviate your trepidation with doing it, but so what I do for painting is I mark everything out with a Sharpie first. I try to kind of erase the Sharpie as much as possible, if that makes sense, with my magic eraser. But that lets me kind of have a guide. And then I just kind of go from there. And the only time I found that Sharpie is not good is if you're painting with white paint, because sometimes the Sharpie can come up and bleed through the white paint. I had that happen once, and it was not the end of the world, but it was not ideal either. My paint job that I'm most proud of is actually the coffin that I'm working on right now. I had never done anything like this before. But with the, it's supposed to be like an American traditional style flower, like the whole thing is American traditional. So I painted, oh yeah, everyone has seen the coffin. You were the one who said I should go with the red. But yeah, this is the paint that I did, and it's actually pretty, it's very dark on the camera, but it's actually a really nice gradient in person. So I'm very proud of that. It's just lots of practice, Charlie. Lots of practice. I hadn't drawn in many years when I first started doing stained glass, so it kind of took me a while to get back into the drawing
habit, I suppose. But I think it's very fun. Alright, there we go. Our border is done. Well, not really, but it's on. It's on there. Whoops. Please don't do that. Okay, so now that that's on, we can go ahead. Negative. Oh, I'm so proud of this one. I love it. We'll go ahead. This was my first commission in the new shed too. What a great kickoff. We'll go ahead and add our flux and put a nice layer of flux on here. We need a little more in our cup. See the intended design and shading. You mean with like glass? Or with painting? Because I know we talked about it with glass the other day. I mean, it helps too that I have my like online or like the computer drawing program, so I can kind of plan out how I want it to look, and there's different brushes that can give different effects. So I have that, just kind of like a little cheat code, really. Y'all know I'm a big promoter of just practice makes perfect though. So I didn't used to know how to paint on glass. I didn't used to know how to make stained glass. Just gotta get your hands in there and get some cuts. Honestly, painting with so that glass paint that I use, it is a little difficult to use. It's even the newer paint that I have that's more transparent, it's like thick but transparent. So the paint itself is kind of not very easy to work with. It doesn't flow very well, but it's super transparent. So it's like you'll have to do like multiple layers, and it dries pretty quickly too. So you kind of have to figure out how you're going to work with it getting tacky very quickly. So it's definitely not like on the of ease. It's not an easy paint to use. But once you get the hang of it, and if you can play with it enough and get the kind of learn how it interacts with you and with the other like paint layers that you're doing, it's not too bad. I find that doing single layer stuff, like just painting a star on glass, is obviously going to be a lot easier than say doing like, you know, transparent layers and stuff. And this was those petals took me about an hour to paint, just because I was trying to figure out how to get a nice blend going, because it's not an easy paint to like have like transparent layers and stuff and layering on top of it. So I tried a few different methods, and then I finally found one that worked. So, but yeah, those petals were, it was an hour just to figure those out. What? Just keep going, you'll be fine. Pull you in a little closer to get a better view, different view. am so pleased with how this is coming out. I know I've already said it. I think this might be my favorite portrait that I've done to date. They just kind of like let me do whatever I wanted with the bouquet. Like, obviously I had a reference, but they were like, you know, just something like this bouquet. Those are just like my favorite kinds of commissions. Ones where I can just do they just trust me to do what I want. And of course I always like, they okay it before I start it, but it's so fun. I don't think this actually will need copper wire. This feels pretty solid. I think it's fine. Textured glass and the white parts will play with the light in cool ways. Thank you. Yeah, I'm really hoping that I didn't want to have the textured side on the front because I didn't want it to like make it too busy, but I think that was my hope, was that it'll give it like a nice effect when the light comes through it and give it like a slight textured feel. I did use the textured side of my black glass on the front. Which I thought, it's a more subtle texture than this one. Okay, almost done. Almost. We still have to do the beading for these flowers on the edges. And then we have to attach the jump rings. I'm going to attach the jump rings on the inner parts of the ears. I think that'll be the strongest part. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Whoops, I missed this entire section. Go, and then this little part, and then I missed something on the top right as well. little baby bits up here. And this up here. When did that happen? What do you mean? My goodness. That's really ugly. I knew a little bit of bleed through happened here, but I did not realize it was this much over here. Well, it's unfortunate. This is spooky. I don't like this at all. This is what we're going to do. We're going to turn it upside down. Plenty of flux. Can't really see what I'm doing. Just melt it off. Now let's clean this up and hope that that doesn't happen again. It can get a little tricky when that much is on the glass because you can get some heat fractures that way, which is why I was like, oh gosh, oh no. But it's okay. Everything worked out just fine. So fix. Yes. They are quite a booger. That one was surprising too. I didn't see that happen. I must have just been ranting about something or just like off in my own world. I don't really know. I think that's probably the biggest blowout I've seen. It happens. Oh, see what I'm doing. Gosh. My gosh. Yes, I think you did mention that. And I still need to try it. I had forgotten about your tip. I think I have a washcloth I can use. I don't think I'll do it for this one. I have another pet portrait, because we're almost done, but I have another pet portrait in the works. It's a cat, and I'll hopefully be soldering that like Thursday. And I can try it. Although actually, I think I'll try it with something smaller first. Test it out with maybe like a little, one of my smaller little pieces that I have to work on. Just because I would hate to do it wrong and have the wrong water temperature or something, and then something happened to my portrait. Solder always finds a way. I know, that was like the weirdest spot. There was much bigger gaps in other places. So, who knows. Sometimes the solder just like doesn't work with you. Hey, thank you for subscribing, Maria. Welcome. If you're watching, I think it just notifies me when anyone subscribes. Alright, now we need to do the edges. Flower bits. Oh, I have a dehumidifier in here right now, and it makes it toasty in here. But it's not as humid, which is nice. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're going to zoom you out a little bit. We're going to apply flux to all of the edges of these little pieces, and then just slowly work our way around, beating the edges. Get that all nice and finished. Nice little look to it. I'll also be closing the gap between our lead cane. Sorry, it's a little difficult for you to see just because the piece is so big and I have to turn it on its side to bead the edge. So you'll just unfortunately have to deal with the little glimpses that you get. No, I mean, we're here to learn, and I need to learn stuff every time I do stuff. Hi.
Care package.
Oh, thanks. I can't eat it because I have flux all over my hands.
Oh.
Are those moon drops?
Hmm?
Oh, you brought me moon drops. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm almost done streaming too. Once I finish this, I'm a little bit over 2 hours right now, but
cool. Oh, it's very good.
He's so cute.
It's your paint that really puts it on a different level. It's really good.
I was grinding yesterday, Risk, and I like as soon as I started grinding, I sliced my finger on a really pointy piece of glass. As soon as I started.
Also, hello.
Hi, Cody. Yes, I do stained glass full time. I've been working for myself full time since June of 2020. So it's been a year and a half now, which is pretty crazy. This is a custom piece, which I'm trying to catch up on my custom waitlist. I had a waitlist going for like a year now, and I haven't added to it in that long. He does, in fact, own sleeved shirts. He does.
Yep. I have a sleeve shirt for every non-sleeved. Something like that.
I think you have more tanks than you do with sleeve shirts. Oh, you have a good
I have a good
assortment.
amount of sleeves, yeah. I wear this too. Typically don't wear the sleeves when I'm on days when I'm training.
Sun's out, guns out, right?
Yeah. Sun's out, guns out. Yeah, it looks good. I've been watching off and on. See any pickups. Surprised how incredibly good our upload bandwidth is.
Insane. Makes no sense. The worst. Yes. It is alright though. It's just part of stained glass. It's getting little cuts. I'm not worried about it.
What? Oh, she wants attention. Right.
Molly always used to hate everyone except for me, and then she learned that he's her friend, and now she loves Brian. It's the only one other than me that she's ever loved. It's because he bribed her with catnip for like a month straight one time.
Yeah. It took like a month of bribery.
Before she was like, oh my god, he's actually not gonna kill me.
Just had the trip. Sometimes you just gotta trip. Here comes the catnip.
What are you talking about?
What? She had a little kitty trip.
Yep.
She found her.
Zen.
She realized she had that like feeling that we're all one.
Yeah.
She like slowly looked at me like.
Yeah, you like it?
Yeah.
Alright, now we have to add our jump rings. So what, like I said earlier, I'm gonna add them, oops, here and here. Also, how are you doing today, Risk? What are you up to? Work? Working? Uh, 16 gauge. And our Sharpie to size it.
Do these have jumping beans on them?
No,
Oh.
those are Buckeyes.
Oh, okay.
Now we just gotta get you a collar and you're corporate ready.
These any good?
They're decent.
I don't remember them.
Do you want to go work for a corporation?
Is that a joke? In my time, I did over 5 years worth of timesheets and pretending to like people and all that. Good. I'm good. Oh, a collar? Yeah, no thanks. Live that life already. That's why. Yeah, whatever. It's not fun, it sucks. Corporate jobs are soul destroying, at least to me. Some people thrive on it. I had some coworkers that really loved the company. They were company men, got paid lots of money, and really cared.
Yeah, I went to, like, they had us go to a workshop one time, like a team building workshop for the animal hospital. It was a continuing education thing, and it was I forget, it's like a corporate team building training entity that, like, it's like famous. I can't remember what it's called, but it was vile. It was the worst. Like, all these people in business casual. I'm sorry to those who have corporate jobs and love them. It's just not for us.
Well, this is an art stream, so you're probably not going to see a lot.
Yeah.
Too many.
So, it was like, they like had us like pair up with random people and like be like, how are you? It was like, because I was a supervisor, and so it was like a manager's team building thing, and it was like those pictures of like they would show pictures of like team building, networking, and it's like the like search for like stock photos
yeah.
of fucking or something. Like that, and then like little like pixel people like connecting with little dots around the globe.
You mean those like PowerPoint presentations?
Yeah.
We had to do this for our like corporate training. We had to log in, do classes, and then take tests and pass them. And like our supervisor would get an alert if we didn't do our like compliance training or whatever. They'd be like, really obvious stuff, like don't touch girls' butts without asking. Like, don't tell Stacy she's looking pretty today. Like, you know, like be a decent human. Or
my old manager needed some of that training.
Don't go talking. You know, I'm not gonna give away what I used to do, but don't go talking to people.
What is Dale Carnegie? Dale Carnegie. That was what the workshop that we went to. Where they were like, how are you going to be the best manager for yourself and for your company? And I was just like, oh, gross.
It's like those videos you're forced to watch when you get hired at like McDonald's or Walmart or wherever. Welcome to the team.
Ugh.
TPS reports. Never had to do TPS reports. Did a lot of redlining.
What's that?
It's an engineering thing. Basically correcting procedures and engineering documents. Because I was with test engineering.
He's gonna write it down.
Write what down?
Your personal information. Or the team building workshop. I don't know.
All that crap. It was so corny.
Ugh, God.
It's terrible. Waste of time. Or if you had those like, we had these like yearly meetings where it was just our CEO doing a bunch of fart wafting. Like, well, we made this many millions doing this, and this project did well. And
I bet Stacy liked being pretty, but I guess not anymore. No, Akuma, that's not PC.
Nope. Yeah, don't tell Stacy she's pretty. Yeah, cornball. Really annoying. That's anywhere you go, though. We had the exact same crap. We called it EO training in the military. Equal opportunity training.
I just can't, like, our personality types can't do that.
No. I did my time of, like, following orders, doing all that. I'm retired from following orders, though. I'm going to go to the boss. And I don't intend to, unless I'm helping out my little SunBear. Sometimes she needs a little help.
Alright, well, Tiger is done. Or at least this part of the process is. So that's how he's looking. I'll post pictures whenever I have it. I'm going to do a black patina. Probably clean up, like, be all nitpicky and clean up the edges a little bit more, but honestly, there's no need to. We're going to do a black patina, and then once that's done, I'll post a picture on Discord. Unfortunately, I can't stay any longer just because the limit on our data. I said I was only going to do 2 hours. It's been 2 hours and 20 minutes.
This is a trial run. I mean, because we're going to go over our data pretty soon.
What are we at?
We're at like 80% for the month. So we're going to go over.
Leave something